Welcome back to Hooked Boxing this week. Paolo, Boxing Corner Casuals. We've got the whole shebang. We're actually recording this a little bit early, so if anything's happened during the week, then we won't talk about it because we won't know it yet. So just hold your horses. We'll get
We don't do lottery numbers. That's all. But yeah, go on.
there. Yeah. So big week, big week. Technically, kind of underwhelming in some ways, but we've got Jesse Bam Rodriguez beating Juan Estrada. Um, we'll get on to that. I've watched that back this morning. That is
Mm.
it's a fight of the year contender in my books. Sonny
Mhm.
Edwards is back doing what he always does. Yeah. Teofimo Lopez actually fought this weekend. That
No one
wasn't
knew.
promoted very well.
No one knew.
Like, nope.
Oi, we can talk about that because that's terrible, Like, that's
Yeah.
actually terrible. Like, do you know the amount of people that said, motherfucker, you know how Americans write on like Instagram? So, like,
Mm.
motherfucker fighting this weekend? Like, they didn't even know he was fighting in America.
Yeah. Nobody knew. Top ranker falling off.
Yeah,
We've got a lot of this where top rank fighters are fighting and we don't even know about it.
yeah.
Teofimo
It's a
Lopez
sh-
fought
it's a
Steve Claggett, whatever.
it's a
Call him by.
shame that Josh Taylor isn't represented by like a British promoter like Eddie Hearn or Frank, because I genuinely think he'd be on all the top bill cards. Like
Yeah.
he like yeah, just my point. But
Yeah, no,
yeah,
it is true. It's the same thing where we talked about Shakur Stevenson last week, where you kind of said about how you haven't really watched him fight too much, and it's like that's fair enough because we don't know when these lot are fighting sometimes. Top rank are
yeah,
not promoting it properly. Maybe it's just the UK, but we've got, like you said about the Americans didn't even know Tiafimo was fighting. Um, and then we've got some fights coming up. We're going to make this a bit of a quicker episode, not to rush through, but it's not too much to talk about anyway. We'll start with we'll go chronological. We'll start with Sonny Edwards.
yeah,
He's returned. He got an awful cut
yeah. I
over his
saw
eye.
that.
Really
It was.
bad cut.
Then they went to the points, didn't they?
Yeah. So it was a technical decision. I mean, he won every round. It
So
was
he
a
was winning
bit of a
comfortably. Then yeah.
yeah. It's not that controversial. It's just a head clash.
Mm.
It's a bad cut. Probably should have actually been stopped a bit earlier than it was. To be fair, I'll be honest, because that cut was like properly bad. If you haven't
Mm.
seen it, I probably can't put a photo on here because I don't think YouTube likes blood. But
If you put it in black and white, I'm sure they do.
really, black and white
Mm.
works. All right.
Yeah,
Well, maybe
that's
I'll add that
that's
in. But
that's my days of WWE watching WWF and WWE. They
yeah,
any blood, they used to just put it in black and white.
right. I'll give it a go. So maybe it'll be in here, but if not, it's on like every social media platform anyway for boxing. So you're all good. He's just it's a normal performance. The only thing I'd say is that he didn't show anything new. It didn't seem like the fight against Jesse Rodriguez actually taught him anything.
Mm.
But clinical, won every round, got the win.
Sonny Edwards is an experienced operator in the ring.
Mm,
Boxing knowledge is top, like as well, which a lot of fighters don't have.
yeah,
That, and they talk about Sonny Edwards in being a really analytic fighter of himself. Um,
yeah,
so I'm not surprised. Bam Rodriguez is just a very good fighter that he lost against. I don't think there's many guys that beat him at that weight anyway. So Sonny Edwards was daring to be great when he fought him. He obviously needs to get back into the swing of things, but where does he go from here?
I I think he's got most options available to him. I think he can fight anyone. Bam
Yeah,
Rodriguez for me is pretty special. Like, I think he's pound for pound top 10. He fucks up a lot of people
yeah,
badly as well.
very good
I think
fighter.
Sonny Edwards is good enough that he could get in there with anyone, and he's probably in a 50-50 fight at worst.
Yeah, yeah,
The only thing with him is he isn't blessed with that power that you don't need, but if you're hitting somebody like the way he does, and they kind of just go, "Oh, this is fine. I'll hit you back harder," that's a problem. But
mm.
he'll be back. He'll win a world title as well. He's more than good
Mm-hmm.
enough. So, and he's confident in
Well,
himself.
If Bam fights a Nui, yeah, we could see what would happen with that. I mean, if Bam is looking to
Mm,
push on as well, and Sonny Edwards stays, there might be titles available as well.
yeah,
If Sonny Edwards decides to push up, but he doesn't look as if he can put on a lot of more weight than he already is.
yeah. He's a little bit limited, I think, in that way,
Mm.
but not the worst thing. um, yeah, vintage performance. We'll just go straight to Bam. There's not much to say about the Sonny Edwards. If you watched it, then you'll know it's just him all over. He
Mm.
movement's brilliant.
Mm.
Power's not really there, but yeah. Now, Jesse Rodriguez versus Juan Francisco Estrada is it's fight of the year contender. It's genuinely, it was brilliant. Um, Now the scorecards that have come out, disgraceful. The fact that Estrada was up on one and they were drawing on another. Estrada wasn't winning by
We
any
back
means.
we back to the infamous scorecards.
We are as per because they are shit.
Do you know what?
Um,
Yeah, if I carry on talking about the scorecards here, all these shows you get accreditation for, I need to be careful because I'm not going to be able to get into nothing if I carry on. So,
yeah,
but
but
yeah, no, we're back at the scorecards again. Um, yeah,
yeah.
what a joke.
Estrada didn't win a round for me other than the knockdown round, and even
Mm.
that round he won because he got a knockdown, but it still wasn't like a
It's
dominant round.
opinionated though, isn't it? This is a problem. It's opinionated. So
It
like
is, but
the
these were clear
judges, the
rounds.
the judge, I hear it. The judges are human, so it's mad. But one of them obviously thought, yeah, just thought that they must have
Uh,
been, they must have been watching a different fight to everyone else.
I don't get it. I really don't get it. But Rodriguez's movement and power, and he comes in and it's just ridiculous. If you haven't watched it, it's the easiest 8 rounds of boxing you'll watch. Like
Mm.
genuinely. The finish is brutal. He's just sunk 2 body shots in,
Yeah,
and Estrada, like he just he doesn't want any more of it. Not like he's not saying quit or anything. He just his body gave in. He could not go on. But then we saw Bam go down. That was pretty shocking as well. It was a bit of a flash knockdown. It wasn't like he was that hurt. He got up and was moving just
I
as
saw,
good
I
as he
saw that.
was.
Yeah, I saw
But
that.
yeah, Bam's special. He'll do pretty special things. They've got a rematch clause for that fight, which is I get it because Estrada's a legend and the champion in this fight, so it does make sense. It's not a fight I want to see again. It was pretty dominant. Um,
Negotiate
but
the
yeah,
fights, then the fighters negotiating their contracts, man.
yeah,
It's just got to
it's
be done.
normal now, isn't it? It's normal. Rematch clauses are normal. I'm not a fan of them personally. I think it should only happen if it makes sense, but I guess it just gives the champions that other option. But it doesn't really matter. Like, listen, Bam's special. He is properly special. I think he's now. You could put him top 5 pound for pound. If you did a pound for pound list, you could put him top 5, and you wouldn't be. I think anyone could question it. Personally, I would put him really high. He's going to do special, and he's 24. Like he's special. He's very special. Um, yeah. Also fighting. There's not too much to say about those two fights with Sonny and Bam. It
Yeah.
was pretty vintage Sonny Edwards, pretty vintage Bam. The only shock was Bam went down, but the fight was brilliant. We'll talk about Teofimo Lopez, but if I'm being honest with you, didn't even know it was on. I haven't watched it. I've heard it was all right.
Mm.
Um, it was a bit of a. I've seen the ring walk, kind of, typical Teofimo Lopez. The thing I did see about that was Nico Ali Walsh, grandson of Muhammad Ali,
Yeah,
dislocating his
dislocated shoulder,
shoulder.
carried on,
Yeah,
man.
carried on.
Do you know what
And
it is? Do you know what it is? Not many people, because I think for our viewers, we need to let people know as well. Not many people know about Nico Ali Walsh,
mm,
unless you watch boxing. So, and I'm sure we're going to have a lot of people who just sort of want to get into it, or this is for people that are not 1,000,000% sure, and that's fine. But
yeah,
he is the grandson of Muhammad Ali.
mm. And
Um,
he's
he
good
lost
not.
against this guy. This was a rematch, wasn't it? So,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
He's good. He's good. I don't know how good, for being honest.
I don't think, for me personally, I've watched his fights. He's going to set the world on fire, and I don't mean that disrespectfully, but
No.
what people expect of him, because he's Muhammad Ali's grandson, it's
Yeah,
not that. He's his own fighter. Hopefully, he wins a title. But he, I think people measure him too much up to his grandfather. which
Yeah,
is
yeah,
easily
massively.
done because of the bloodline, etc. But if you look at Muhammad Ali's daughters, Layla Ali,
Yeah, the whole
boxing
family is
family.
just
So, she was a real. People forget about her because she was a real. I'd probably say carrier in America, like the torch for female boxing.
mm, mm, yeah,
So, look, he's good. How good, I don't know. He's been having a bit of verbals with Teofimo Lopez.
mm,
Teofimo Lopez was digging him out.
yeah. I mean, that's not a fight
It's
that I want to see, but
it's
eh,
not a fight. It's not a fight. Definitely not. Teofimo Lopez is levels above right now. Not saying he can't get there, but he's just not done anything that makes me think, you know, he's not done anything that is enough for me to sit here and go, like, yeah, cool, he could do this and that. I need to watch him a bit more. So we need to see him
yeah,
fight more.
we need to see him fight more. I think he's not shown anything special, but he's not shown anything
He's got
bad
heart
either. He's
though. He's got
overhated
heart. He's got heart.
massively,
He's got
massively.
heart.
It's trying
He's
to
got heart.
pop your shoulder in when it's dislocated during the fight. That's crazy. And then to win the fight as well is, yeah, he's clearly got the Muhammad Ali genes. He's just
Mm.
whether or not he's got the skill, but he works hard. Like I've heard I heard a story about him, and he works very hard because he sees all the stuff about his granddad, which obviously he's going to see, but he knows it, so he wants to get there. He wants to live
Mm.
up to that. Whether he does, I don't know, because that's
I think that's a
the
good
highest standard.
thing to chase because it gives you something to chase. A very
Mm.
famous man had a great saying, and it was, your hero is always 10 years in front of you. Matthew McConaughey said it. I love that
Yeah,
guy. I read so many of his books. Um, but he said your hero is 10 years in front of you and you're constantly chasing your hero. You're never going to be your hero. So I feel
yeah,
like maybe Nico Ali's hero is his grandfather, or he said himself wants to be as good as his grandfather. And maybe that's the standard he sets himself to. And that's where we
yeah,
see the heart in the ring. If you get there,
yeah.
time will tell. But, it is a difficult it's a very difficult feat to live up to, but you've
Yeah.
essentially got to be the greatest or arguably
Yeah.
the greatest. But yeah,
Well,
nevertheless, you can't knock someone's drive to do it. And I just wish him all the best. I just want to see him a bit more before I have a solid opinion of him. But my opinion isn't negative of him, no. It's not negative.
no, I mean, I'd say I'm a fan of his. I just, in terms of the actual boxing, pure boxing
Mm.
aspect, don't know what to make of him
I
just
will
yet.
respect him though, because he got offered a couple of million to fight Jake Paul and he turned it down.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I
he's
was
not
going to bring
getting
that up.
paid. He's not getting paid
No,
that much
no.
on, and he said like I want to do the traditional boxing. I respect that because there's a lot of fighters. No, there isn't actually. It's only Tommy Fury. But there are right now. No, no,
Yeah.
but it's true though, isn't it? But
No, no, you're right. You're right.
there are a lot of there are fighters who may, depending on where their careers at, bite their hand off of that opportunity because of the money.
Yeah.
So you can tell he's driven by boxing because money is not everything to him.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, yeah, no, I'm a fan. I'm a fan. I just want to see more of him. But definitely a fan. And I think there's a lot of people that are fans, not just because of his granddad, they're actually turning to him. It's a little bit like Chris Eubank Jr., Conor Benn, where even Campbell Hatton, although he's not quite done it, where they like the dad, so they watch the
Hey,
sons and then the
Campbell Hatton though is that loss would do so much for him that he had recently. Like
yeah,
I genuinely think talent wise, like he's a really good fighter. I just think he's he needs the experience. So yeah, you're right. The dad
yeah,
son
he
thing
turned
is like
over too early. I
yeah,
think.
but
I think
but I like him as well. I think he's good.
no, same. I Campbell Hatton, I think, just turned pro a bit early. I think he didn't need to. He should have stayed as an amateur, but he'll do well. He'll have a good career, hopefully. So that's everything that's happened this week. There's not too much to talk about. We'll talk about what's coming up. We've got Johnny Fisher versus Alan Babbage.
Bosh, Lebosh, Elbosh,
Chinese.
Yamas Bosh. Uh,
Sibosh.
yeah. What else have we got? So how many Bosches can we go through? Have you seen that TikTok video? It's hilarious, by the way.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's so good.
I
He's the
love Johnny
goat.
Fisher. Alan Babbage as well, but Alan Babbage is I think he needs to drop back down to cruiserweight. So I don't.
Yeah.
I think he's going to get absolutely plummeted by Johnny Fisher. No pause, full Diddy.
Little pause, but yeah.
No, no pause in the ring.
Nah, you might
Full
do a little
Diddy.
pause. You
Uh,
There's definitely a pause in there.
with gloves on. With gloves on, he's going to get plummeted.
All right, that's less of a pause.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
yeah, no, I agree. I think Babic is levels below, if I'm being
But
honest.
I like Babic show as well because you know
Same.
what, I think there's a lot of fighters, yeah, like where like they come up against losses and you know their attitude, but his attitude is really like a warrior mentality.
Yeah, yeah.
And when you're fighting in the ring, because they are, I'm not. I
Mm,
can only respect that. And he's constantly challenging himself, regardless of how limited you may think his ability is against some of these guys. He's constantly challenging himself. I've spoken to many people who say if he went back to cruiserweight, he'd be a handful cruiserweight.
yeah. I'm a big fan. I think Johnny Fisher is actually underrated still. I think people look at the TikTok and go, he gets these fights because he's a TikToker. But if you actually watch him, he's talented. He's proper
Let's
good.
remember as well, he is a Southern area heavyweight world champion. Very, very early on in his career. He's
Yeah,
Southern area now.
yeah,
Yeah.
Southern Era title. Yeah, yeah,
So you know, very early on in his career, the next step will be British. He's oh, sorry, hang on.
it's all right.
I've sorry about this. We haven't
It's all right.
just
You're on
having
blackout. That's fine.
yeah,
There
there
we
we are.
go.
Oh, there we are. It's
Oh
gone off
shit.
again. There we are. Right, sorry about that. Yeah. So
That's all right.
he's had a career that is getting pushed in the right direction. Eddie Hearn's doing good things with him. So
Yeah.
look, I don't I like Johnny Fisher. I like what I see so far, and I genuinely think if he carries on doing what he's doing, I wouldn't be surprised if he's fighting for a European title in the next year and a half, 2 years, maybe a year and a half.
Yeah.
He's fighting. He had a little bit of a longer break from his last fight, I'd say, but he's doing the right things. He's going out to different countries and he's sparring top
Yeah,
heavyweights.
yeah. He's always
Um,
out and about. He's
yeah,
always sparring.
and
He's good.
I think I was talking to Georges, who works for BXGP
Yeah.
at the event, the promoter, and he's also a boxing coach. Worked out of Athoe Boxing Club. He now trains fighters out of Farringdon Gym Box.
All right.
I was having a chat about him when we was doing the face-offs, and we were saying that you know he goes out to different countries around the world and
Yeah.
he fights and he spars these professional fighters at very high levels. He sparred, obviously, he's been in there with Dubois, all these guys. That's how you get the big fights because you're sparring these guys, and
Mm.
that's why any up and coming heavyweight, another one who has basically come from the white collar scene. But don't be surprised if you see him in a professional fight soon. Will all night long. He had a viral knockout online for knocking a guy out on like a white collar show, and Snoop Dogg
Yeah.
shared it and everyone. He's been
Yeah.
sparring professional heavyweights, like he's sparring top level opponents. So he's
Yeah.
looking to push on. That's very important, though. I just wanted to highlight that.
No, it is. Johnny Fisher's very good. I think Solomon Dakries is fighting David Adelaide on the 20th of July in the
Yes,
Magnificent Seven for the English title.
yeah.
Johnny Fisher fighting the winner of that that's a good fight. That's the right stuff, I
Um,
think. I do think Fisher beats Dakries.
I don't
Fisher
think I
Adelaide's a
don't
good
think
fight.
David Adelaide takes that fight though, and I'm not saying that Adelaide's definitely not scared. Adelaide will fight anyone. Like I like
Yeah,
Adelaide. What the
yeah.
reason I'm saying I don't think he'll take it is because I feel like Adelaide's somewhere different right now. I'm not saying we won't see that fight, but I would
Mm,
be shocked if we see that very soon because Adelaide want to push on. He's obviously
yeah.
got as well his little beef with Wardley as well, so that could
Yep.
be a fight we could see. Sorry, not Wardley, Clark. Uh,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
he's got the
Yeah, we've seen the Wardley, obviously.
Clark beef. That was on Tunde and Master Spence's Spencer Fearon's podcast where they were
Yeah.
both on there going head to head. It was quite funny to watch.
Hmm.
But look, it's good. He's doing the right things. I like Adelaide. I think he'll bounce back. He bounced back from the Fabio the Wardley loss, but I like Adelaide as well. I just don't think we'll see that fight that earlier on. I think that fight is built up bigger, maybe in a couple of years when Adelaide goes for a European title, maybe wins that,
Yeah,
which I think he's capable of winning, and say
yeah,
Fisher wins a British, then that would be a bigger event in my opinion.
yeah. Maybe. I think with the Saudi cards, that's where you might see it happen a bit earlier.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because of the
But
money.
yeah, they might just say, "Well, that's a good fight. We'll do that." Boom. But
Fancy £1,000,000? Yeah, go on then.
exactly. So yeah, Fisher Babbage. I'm saying Fisher's going to win. I
Yeah.
think quite easily as well, without being
I,
rude to
I think he's
Babbage.
got I think he's gonna be too quick for Babbage. A lot of power, although Babbage's heart is nothing, you can't match it. I
No,
just don't think he's going to be good enough to keep up with Fisher.
yeah,
Um, it'd be a good name for Johnny Fisher to have on his record as well. It will push
yeah,
him up the rankings a fair bit as well. So yeah,
massively.
but yeah, no, without sounding disrespectful, I do think he dispatches Babbage fairly quick. But I do like Babbage, man. I really
Yeah,
do. I think he's a good managed by Dillian White, top heavyweight. What could you ask for? People
mm.
forget he's in the mix as well. I don't know what he's going on with him at the moment, but he's in the mix.
Yeah, I don't know. He's cleared of drugs. I'm not sure. I guess he's waiting to see what's coming up.
He
But
had that fight in Ireland, that random fight.
yeah, and that pissed him off, didn't it? Because he was fought the guy, and the guy just didn't want to fight him back.
He gave
He
up,
quit on
yeah.
his stall and all
Yeah.
sorts. But
But he's managing fighters
yeah,
as well, and Babbage is one of
yeah,
his
yeah.
fighters. So yeah.
I like Dillian White. I'm a big fan of his. I'm really glad that he didn't cheat. But yeah, other fights on the weekend. We've got William Zepeda, who I'm only really mentioning because it's not a great fight he's in, if I'm being honest. He's fighting a guy called Cabrera. It's not a bad fight, but Zepeda will win. I'm only mentioning this because I think Zepeda's seriously underrated. And I'm going to go ahead and say this: Zepeda will if him and Tank ever get in there, Zepeda will cause Tank massive problems.
Yeah.
I don't know if he beats Tank because Tank has the trump card of power, but Zepeda is proper. And I'm really only mentioning it because he's going to keep fighting, knocking these guys out until he gets his chance to fight for a title.
This is what we're here for, man. These kind of
So
fights, this is what we are here for. So, Tank will the Tank fight sounds good. I'd love to see it. Yeah, I'd love to see it.
because I think Zepeda's one of the other ones in the 135 lightweights that's actually comfortable at the weight,
Yeah.
doesn't cut weight, and he gets in there and he carries power. And you can argue he's just as skillful as, say, Frank Martin, as these guys. So he's got that plus the power.
Yeah.
What are you looking for?
Nothing. Sorry, I'm just trying to sort out my settings. I thought my light is going to go off again. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. You're good. But yeah, and I'm only mentioning that because I think Zepeda is seriously underrated. If you've not watched him before, recommend it. But
no, Zepeda I've watched. Yeah, he's good.
Yeah. It's not a great fight. I'll be honest. It's not the best matchup. I think Cabrera.
Yeah, but do you know what it is?
It's one of the necessary ones. You've got.
It's a necessary fight, and you can't. I think we've been spoiled the last 8 months. So sometimes it is.
Oh yeah.
I think sometimes the boxers have to have the necessary fight, but then fights aren't always the easiest. They're not.
No,
they're not.
Got to get out of bed for someone you don't think is worth the time. That's hard.
And if you don't come fully prepared, that is dangerous.
Yeah.
So he's still got to train like he's fighting a Tank or someone, because if you don't prepare to fail.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Fail to prepare to fail.
Prepare to fail. That's it.
And
Big Tony Belly's got that tattooed on his arm.
Of course he does. And then we've got the top rank card that's actually been promoted, although still not great. Shaki Foster versus Robson Kunchal.
Yeah.
That's a good fight because I like Foster.
I like Foster as well, man. Yeah.
So that's going to be a good fight. Foster's always.
What is it with Top Rank and their promotions though? Like,
I don't know. It's shit.
Has it really been promoted well? There's some good fights on that card as well. Go on, read them out first, and we could talk about.
Right, so we've got Shakur Stevenson fighting Harit Yunyan.
Yeah.
Hoping I've not butchered that. Keyshawn Davis is on there. Abdullah Mason, who I think
Keyshawn Davis is a special fighter, man. I'm telling you, I love Keyshawn Davis. That guy was in my. I done a list of like sort of fighters to watch out for. He was one of them.
Yeah. And then they've also got Abdullah Mason. He's my if I had to pick a prospect right now who will go on and be like a bit of a legend, I'd pick Abdullah Mason. He's got absolutely everything. They've also got Kelvin Davis, Keyshawn's brother. I'm not sure if he's older or younger, but he's also very good. He's just less known. I don't think he's quite as good as Keyshawn just at the moment, but it's a really good card. 2 world title fights. Keyshawn Davis is big name now, massive name really. Abdullah Mason's a massive name actually. In socials. So, and yet heard nothing about it. Not really.
No, it's bad. It's bad.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I've
Bob Arum's done, maybe.
Bob Arum's not done at all. He's still flying. His map heat like his travel map is mental. Guy
I know.
goes everywhere, man. At like 94 years old, I have to big him up for that.
Yeah, but
But yeah, it'd be interesting to see because he's not going to be around forever. So what's going to happen, when he decides to stop or he has to
yeah,
stop?
I don't know because I mean the problem is that it's becoming the gap between Top Rank and the others is getting massive now
Mm.
because as Matchroom and Queensbury are working together, and even now Boxer are in on the mix with this AJ card, which I've got tickets to go to. So I will be seeing AJ at Wembley.
When do you get them?
I got them. When did I get them? Friday. Whenever the tickets went on sale. Horrendous amount of money,
How much do you pay for
but
them?
oh, I think. Oh, do I want to say 380 for two? 380
Yeah,
for
you
two.
shouted me, man. I could have sorted you out or something. But yeah. I only found out the other day though. Someone told me that they I know somebody who works at Wembley Stadium, and we'd have got the prices like you still had to pay for them, but like no, I would say the prices wouldn't have been as hiked. Put it that way.
Yeah. But I got
Uh,
decent tickets. Decent tickets. I'm taking my mum. She loves Anthony Joshua. So there we go. We'll have a nice little me and her watch boxing together. That's kind of nice. But
go to the White Horse pub next to us beforehand.
the White Horse Pub.
Yeah, man.
Good pub.
Have a good little bit of grub, a little drink if you want to drink. If that's what you like.
Yeah.
Actually, I know you like that. Yeah, because
You
we were
know I like
talking.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, the live, drunk
Yeah,
up on the
yeah,
live.
yeah.
I love
No,
bringing. I
no.
love bringing that up. That's the first one of the first times I met you in like on a video on a camera
Yeah,
was
proper
yeah that live
talking.
battered. But yeah, no.
Yeah.
It'd be good. The card is gonna be unreal. I'm gutted. Yeah, people are gonna. I'm not gonna be able to watch it.
No, you're at your mate's card, right?
I'm not my mate. I'm at a card for
Yeah.
a boxing card
Yeah,
covering
yeah,
media, but they've decided to do it on the same day as Joshua.
yeah. That's annoying.
It
That's really
is.
annoying.
I'm surprised he hasn't changed the date. But then they are massively building a card there. That's a DFC. Don's Fighting Club is where I'll be at on the 21st. But
Don's
I will
fighting
have
club.
my phone to hand. I
Yeah.
will buy it and I will watch it on my phone.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. The Zone app. Working out
Yeah,
again.
yeah, that one. The
Yeah, yeah.
Zone.
All
It's
right.
mental. I will have it. The Zone. The Zone app, and I'll be watching it on there as and when I can. But I will be interviewing a lot of fighters. It's a big card for them. They've got some big fights, and they've kindly invited me down. So
Yeah.
I am. I've got to do it, man. I'm doing the ground coverage and media, but I will be watching the card as in between. So if I'm not
Yeah.
interviewing fighters, just know if you see me there, I will be watching on the DAZN app the fight.
Yeah, yeah. The Zone app, of course.
We all love a DAZN app, don't we? It's just a shame it don't
Yeah.
run normally.
Yeah, it's just annoying when it's different times. That's always funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, yeah, there's the gap, that's what we're talking. The gap between Top Rank and Matchroom, Boxer, Queensbury. These three are now getting involved with the Saudi Riyadh season. And they're doing the big videos and maybe overdoing it, but it's brilliant. I'm not going to complain about the all of that side
there's
of it.
there's no
And you got
budget. There's no
yeah,
budget.
exactly. And
It's
you got Top
just
Rank who
yeah.
they do a fight poster, announce the fight, and then you wait 4 months and it's fight week, and then it's like, yeah, there we go. It's just not the same thing. It's
Yes.
not how it works
Do
anymore.
you know what though? I've been quite critical of them for this year, but I feel like um we've got a similar thing in the UK, not as bad because we know who's fighting and they promote the fights. But in terms of the week leading up to the fight, I feel like the promotion can be quite poor sometimes. So I
Yeah.
noticed with like Queensbury and Matchroom, they'll give you a breakdown of where they're going to be for the public ways, etc. It adds to the event build up,
Mm.
whereas Boxer don't do that. So it's really
No.
frustrating. Like Callum Simpson's fighting in 5 weeks in Barnsley
Yeah,
Football Club. Um,
it's
you
fighting
know,
Zach Chelly.
yeah, it'd be that's a good fight as well.
It is, yeah.
Uh, yeah, again, another one of somebody that I know of, but I wish all the best for him. I like Callum Simpson, man. I think he's a good boxer. But going back to my point, it is that is my most bugbearing thing, yeah, because I feel like attention to detail is everything. So when you are talking about top rank, it's annoying because, as you said, that but before you look at like a couple of Teofimo's last fight, guy was fighting on a Thursday night.
Yeah,
Like
weird. It's
it's
wrong as
it's
well. It's
weird.
like it's a prime fighter. That's a top fighter, and you're treating him not. I don't want to say like shit because I'm sure he's getting paid well and all this, but they've got a stupid roster like Shakur Stevenson, Foster, Lopez, Inoue. I mean, Inoue is treated very well because he can't not be because you put a
I
fight
knew
out
it.
in Japan this week.
Same with Inui though. The guy fights on what? His last fight was on a Monday morning.
Yeah, but that's because in Japan they do their weekends are different days apparently.
What do you
Something
mean their
weird
weekends are
like
different days?
as in like Tuesday is a going out day. So
Right.
they're fighting. So boxing on
But they
Tuesday is
fought
like
on
that's the
Monday.
norm.
They fought on Monday, Connor.
Did they fight on Monday? I thought it was
Yeah,
Tuesday.
because it's bank holiday. I remember because I weren't working, and I don't forget the days I don't work. Trust me. Trust me.
Maybe then. I don't know, but I read something about that because I thought that was odd, but it's like
But no,
so their days change.
was it
But
a Monday? It was either a Sunday or Monday. But even Sunday, strange. Put it this way: if
mm,
you, for me, if it's not on a Saturday night and you're a big like, it should be on a Saturday, in my opinion. I'm just being one of them
I agree.
people.
I agree, but I think Japan has a thing where the Monday, Tuesday, one of the days is like a weekend day. So that is like a going out day. That's their equivalent to like a Friday night, Saturday night. So that's why the boxing's there. Could be wrong, but
Yeah,
um, yeah, I don't know. But I think they've got a stupid, like ridiculously good
just
fighters.
not good media team.
Yeah, Abdullah Mason, by the way, everyone should be talking about him. Keyshawn Davis is the same. Keyshawn Davis does well because he's very loud.
Hmm.
He's got issues with Andy Cruz. He's got issues with Teofimo Lopez. He's always got something
Don't
going
be
on with someone.
surprised. Don't be surprised if in the next 2 years, 3 years, Eddie Hearn signs Keyshawn Davis.
Yeah, no, that makes sense to me. Especially with Andy Cruz being older. He'll stick,
Hmm.
but Andy Cruz will do amazing things very quickly. But Andy Cruz is older.
Hmm.
Keyshawn Davis is young still.
Hmm.
There's a lot of time for him. And also he's not just young, he's involved with like Crawford, Stevenson. He's in that gang of like ridiculously good boxers. They all do well. Well, Crawford has done well. So yeah. Yeah, that covers most of the boxing. There's one thing I am gonna do, because it's kind of a new thing, but I think it makes sense to do. I'm actually gonna pull up a comment that I got on TikTok and we're gonna make a video out of this. Because a little bit of a interesting. So let me get this up. Now it's based on a video of Canelo. So me and you were talking about Canelo Benavidez, whether or not Canelo was ducking him, and can't remember what we said, but we said something. And then this person's commented, "This is zero." We're gonna link the comment in the TikTok here. Benavidez hasn't done anything, nor does he have the resume to want to fight Canelo. And then he's put, "There's better people like Bud who deserve the fight." So we're going to very quickly talk about that. That'll be the final thing. That's not new that we're going to do. I'm going to bring up comments because we're getting quite a few comments now. So we're actually getting some interaction. That's like, fuck it, yeah.
Yeah.
First of all, that's ridiculous. Benavidez deserves the fight.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Second, does Terence Crawford deserve the fight?
Does Caleb Plant count as just no one on a resume?
Apparently.
Apparently, yeah.
Clearly.
Because Caleb Plant's a big name, you know. I love Caleb
He's
Plant is
top as
another
well.
one of my favorite fighters. I'm telling you
Yeah.
now. But
His
yeah,
story,
so
everything.
zero. First of all, can I just say, does Caleb Plant not count as a big name? Because
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, I know his resume. You may say earlier on you might not know, and that's fine. But when he's got to the world level, he showed up. And when he's got to the world level, he's performed. Does
Yeah,
Terence Crawford deserve the fight?
that's tough.
No,
Yeah, I think no as well.
because I think if you want to go into that realm, then you're moving up 2 weights to fight Canelo. You haven't fought anyone at that weight, so
Yeah,
and you haven't fought anyone at that weight below, so you don't warrant that. Although Canelo's Terence Crawford's next fight, he's moved up in weight, isn't he?
it's 154. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So
but still two under. Still
yeah,
got
two
160,
under.
then 168.
So
So
what I'm trying
still,
to say, is, if that's the case, does on merit what Inui's done, does that warrant him skipping weights and just fighting Canelo,
yeah, that's what I think.
or Canelo's
Crawford.
stupid? Sorry, Terence Crawford.
Mm,
Like, does Inui just warrant fighting Terence Crawford? I'll answer the same question, though he doesn't.
yeah,
So, like, in my opinion, there's you don't just become. Don't get me wrong. He's an undisputed uh world champion in the 4 weight belt era. I get it, but I don't think that I just don't think you're at your weight. You are the champion, but you're not champion at 160. You're not champion at
no,
168. If you
it's
fight
such a
one
big
or
jump.
yeah, if you fight one or two guys there, like for me, I think Canelo could warrant fighting for a light heavyweight title because he's beaten Kovalev
Yeah, yeah,
at light heavyweight. He lost to Bivol, but he could warrant the rematch. Or
yeah. He's been in the mix. He's been in the mix.
Canelo would beat a lot of light heavyweights, in my opinion.
Mm.
But nah, I don't know. Benavidez deserves a fight, but are we going to see it? Probably not, because Canelo doesn't have to take that fight.
Yeah, no, I don't think he will. I think Benavidez totally deserves it. You're right, Crawford doesn't. Because and the thing about the Inouye point, people will call you ridiculous for that. But if you think about the weight and you go, right now, Inouye is fighting at 126 or whatever, Crawford
Yeah.
say 147. That's where his last fight was. That's a 21 pound difference. 147 to 168, 21 pound difference. It's the exact same weight difference from Inouye to
Yeah.
Crawford, from Crawford to Canelo. So
Yeah.
your point is correct there. Like, Inouye doesn't deserve that chance just yet.
No.
Money
No.
on paper, yeah, money wise, sure, that's what makes sense money wise. But yeah. So zero, your opinion is invalid. Yeah,
Zero. Get a better name. Get a better opinion.
yeah, the name sucks actually. It does, but so yeah, sorry, mate. But
What is it with these people on TikTok as well? Just I know we've not got long left. We've got some time to kill, and obviously we've covered the boxing, but there are really some absolute thick, stupid, no named eggheads on TikTok. You know that
yeah,
because I'm
no, no.
sure. Do you know why I know they're trolls? Yeah, because they'll put a point out which is completely wrong. If you decide to react to that, do you think you'll ever get a response off them? Nah.
No.
So that's why I stopped responding to you eggheads, because you don't want to have that argument with me. Maybe that's a bit of by the way my mind works. Like if someone says something to me, I feel like now we have to have this conversation. And I'm not stopping until my point gets across. That's the
Yeah,
issue. That's the issue. But
yeah,
yeah, TikTok's a weird place, man. It's a weird place. And obviously make sure you follow us if you're on there as well, not just commenting. Do you know what I
yeah.
mean? To
No,
help us out.
TikTok's good, but
Tell you
we'll
what,
do
get
the
us to a
comment stuff more
thousand
though.
and you zero could join and talk to us. How about that?
That'll be fun. That'll be very. I can't wait for that. We're at what are we at right now? I think we might be just about to hit 900, so we're close. Let me check.
What
We're
about you
on
want to tell them about our live we're doing next week?
890. Oh yeah. So I was gonna make a separate little video about this anyway, but we'll do one here anyway. We're live streaming the Boxing This Week episodes from now on. It'll be Thursday, 8 p.m., 8:30. If it moves, we'll let you know, but it'll be around then. It means you guys can get involved. So you guys can join and put your face in it if you want. You don't have to, you can blank your screen, don't have to show your video, whatever. And all you need is, well, phone, really. You don't need any real technology.
Yeah, so the
Maybe a
link
laptop, but
so the link it'll be set up through we use StreamYard. So if you are joining, you cannot join on Safari. It needs to be Google Chrome. The link will not
okay.
work on Safari for those who've got MacBooks or iPhones, you
Yeah.
need to have a Chrome, like Google Chrome open. Once you've opened that, you'll be able to join the link which we put in the comments of our live stream, which will go up on Connor's and mine YouTube collectively, hopefully, provided
Yeah.
well, we got enough time to fix it, so it will.
Yeah.
Connor's got he's got about 20 email addresses, but we'll get to that another time. But what I'm saying is the link will be in the comments pinned. You will be able to click on that link and you'll be in a waiting room. And at one at a time, we'll let you in. We'll answer your questions, or we'll discuss something you want to discuss. And yeah, it's a pretty open episode. So yeah, that's the idea of it, really, isn't it, Connor? Really, so
Yeah.
some of it.
And that's it. Just get people involved and other opinions as well, because
Yeah.
me and you disagree sometimes, but for the most part, yeah, for certain stuff we agree. But it'd be good to have zero come in and drop a stinky opinion.
I need someone to come in that I am going to absolutely argue with. It does better for the viewing. Can I be brutally honest with you?
Of course.
Come
That's
on,
the whole
man.
point.
We're here for the
That's the whole
entertainment
point.
factor. Don't come on if you're dry. Yeah, come on
Yeah.
with a bit. Or something happened the other day as well. I'd done an Instagram live and someone was requesting. They wouldn't stop when I accepted them. Do you think they turned up? No, don't do that. Because that pisses me off as well, just a couple of things. But anyway, for those that do want to join, it will be a good boxing, good night, good talk. Go for what, 45 minutes, and then yeah, man, that will be every Thursday. Now we'll be going live, so yeah, join in. I'd say. I don't know if Connor wants to say anymore, but
no, that's everything, isn't it? I mean, it'll be good, and we'll just keep going until we're massive, and then make loads of money and
quit my job.
Or quit the jobs. Yeah, start our own promotion.
I wouldn't work no notice if I'm telling you now. If you making massive amounts of money, my work will never see me again. Yeah.
Yeah.
TikTok for 1,000. Let me just clarify something as well before people get onto it, because I know a couple of people from my work watches sometimes as well. What I mean by that is you know how people say that they win the lottery and they wouldn't come back to work? This is my lottery. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can't get in trouble for that.
That's fair enough. There's nothing wrong with that. This is the dream. This is the ideal. Work is great, but it's shit at the same time. Everyone knows that. That's just jobs. Right. That is everything for this episode. Bit of a quicker one. Still not quick, but quicker, because there's less to talk about. Next week's got some good fights. Hopefully we'll have a lot to talk about there. Next episode is live, but you'll see it. There'll be other things than just this little bit in the episode explaining all of that. So subscribe, like. TikTok's the main one. That's where it's not the main one. Everywhere's the main one. Subscribe, like, follow everywhere. If you don't, you're a knob. That is true. You are a knob end. Yeah, thanks for watching. Anything you want to say? Obviously.
Subscribe whilst you can. I'm going to go on for my point loss. So you subscribe whilst you can.
No.
That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say.
So bad, but I'm ending.